Hey, what's going on? And thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video today. I'm a passenger on a ride, and today I just wanted to make a short video discussing a little bit about people pleasing, kind of, the effects that it can have, and my journey recognizing, becoming aware, and trying to, and successfully escaping from that cycle. A lot of us, due to circumstances that we face when we're younger, whether it be, with family members or just kind of situations and people around us that we grow up with, influence us all in different ways, but certain circumstances can cause somebody to become people pleasers of different levels. And this generally comes from, maybe you're somebody that saw or were a part of a lot of confrontation at a young age, or kind of just had any sort of circumstance around things like that. And it kind of developed into a place where you eventually got a little bit older and kind of were afraid of confrontation and felt the need to support the people around you before supporting yourself, or kind of almost live for the people around you and their approval and their sake and mood more than for yourself, almost like living for the people around you rather than living for yourself. And for me, this was a huge circumstance in early relationships for me. I wasn't somebody who was confident at a young age, so it kind of took me a while to get, the confidence to talk to women and, be able to be ready to date and be in that space. Not too old by any means, but, I was like 14 when I had really kind of started gaining the confidence to do that. And my first couple short-term relationships were, not really anything too meaningful. It was to me at the time, but it wasn't anything that lasted longer than a couple months, so I never really got to see what kind of circumstances would unfold. But when I turned 18, right about that time, I got my first like long-term, more adult, or like at the end, right, post high school girlfriend. And I immediately thought that the best thing to do for the health of a good relationship was to just go out of my way constantly and do everything I can to just make her happy and make sure that she was in a good mood. And really, all that did for me over the course of our 2.5 year relationship was make me codependent on someone that was not yet ready to be loved or give love. And I really wasn't either at that time, obviously, because I had issues within myself. I didn't love myself enough. But, and after getting out of that, I kind of proceeded to continue to seek attention as much as I could through the social communities that I was in. And I was very good at convincing others and myself that I wasn't acting a certain way or being theatrical or dramatizing any of my behaviors in any way. I really had myself convinced that in a way I was just being my true self, like my truest form of myself. And to some extent it was, but it was an exaggerated and more theatricized version of who I am. And, this happened primarily in the social groups that I was in through the local music community. And one day I realized during the middle of a show that I wasn't dancing the way that I was dancing because I was just naturally moving that way. I was doing it because I was hoping to gain the attention of a girl that was nearby me at the time. And as somebody who's always done my best to try to escape from ego, that moment kind of meant a lot to me, because at that point I realized that people pleasing that I had thought that I had overcome to some extent by getting out of that relationship was still there and was still persistent, but on a whole nother level. And that eventually kind of became a whole cycle of thoughts over a period of a couple years, which is kind of where I'm at now. And I've been able to recognize a lot about myself and tendencies within myself in that time that have been kind of just focused toward living for other people or living to the expectations of others or trying to do what I think would other people would think is cool at the time. And although I thrived in that space and I had got what I always wanted, after realizing all of these things, I no longer wanted to be that person anymore because I don't want to live in a space of ego. I want to do my best to escape from that, and I know it's something that we're all trapped with to some extent, but I do believe that we can do our best to try to mitigate our relationship being heavy with ego. Where I'm at this point, after getting past layers and layers of, kind of built on faces per se, or, different ways that I've presented myself just for the purpose of impressing or making somebody else happy. It's really strange because at this point in time, I realize that I really don't know what my interests are as well as I did. I don't know myself as well as I thought I did. And, to some extent, I did know myself really well at the time that I'm speaking of specifically, which was like right prior to some of these epiphanies. But even though I knew myself very well at that time, I didn't know myself fully, and I'm a different person at this point in time. I've grown and changed a lot, and I have a lot of aspects that are the same. But at the same time, it's kind of just left me in a space where I have to refigure out who I am all over again, because I've spent so much time trying to live by the standards of what I thought other people would appreciate, and now it's kind of hard trying to figure out exactly what I need or want in life on my own without, the need for anybody else. And I guess that's just the part of the journey that I'm at now. But that's really all I've got for today. I just kind of wanted to share my journey with that and where I'm at with things so far. See if that, might be of some sort of guidance to anybody out there, or, maybe that somebody can just relate to it in a way, or really just anything of that sort. I appreciate anybody who's taken the time to watch this video. I was just kind of inspired by a conversation I had with a friend today that was relatively empowering, and we kind of related together on what she's going through right now. And I just wanted to make this video and hope that some of the advice that I was giving to her and some of the ways that I was explaining my story might be of some help or growth to somebody. But if it had any impact on you, please leave a comment down below and let me know. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And that's all for me. Thank you guys for watching. Have a beautiful rest of your night.